Well, we want to talk now about omega-3s because they are among the most popular dietary supplements, with $3 billion sold right here in the U.S. And last month, study results, though, published in Scientific Reports, said that 69% of fish oil supplements tested had less than 2/3 the active ingredient listed on the label. So joining us now to see if we should be concerned is Dr. Eliot Brinton. Good morning to you, doctor.
Good morning, Molly. Great to be with you. Great
to have you here on this show. I think it's very common for people to have fish oil supplements in their cabinets. What should they know about the current information and current stories that are out there?
Well, you mentioned a very important point about the fact that the majority of these dietary supplements don't have anywhere near as much EPA and DHA as they say they have. A more important problem in my mind is that 92% of those same dietary supplements have an excess of either oxidation or other spoilage above international recommendations. And that's something you cannot get around by just taking an extra capsule. Another layer of complexity, if you will, here is the fact that there is EPA and DHA. And they're similar in that they lower triglycerides, but they're different in that DHA can actually raise the bad cholesterol by as much as 45% if you start out with very high triglycerides.
So is it the right way to treat high triglycerides?
Well, there are several treatments for high triglycerides and very high triglycerides. And if you have a disease state, remember that dietary supplements are not intended for the treatment of disease. So we really shouldn't be going to the grocery store or the health food store to get a dietary supplement to treat a disease. If we have high or very high triglycerides, we go to our doctor. That's a disease the doctor needs to treat. We really need to go with a prescription product. You know, there's this myth that over-the-counter omega-3 is great stuff. Well, there is no such thing as over-the-counter omega-3 in the U.S. Over-the-counter always starts out as a prescription product. At some point, the FDA says, well, you can use this without a prescription, and then it becomes over-the-counter. Those are both tightly regulated by the FDA. Dietary supplements, really very loose regulation at best by the FDA. So don't think we've got over-the-counter, I can get my omega-3 without a prescription. No, you're getting dietary supplement, not really high quality, not reliable. You need to go with a prescription product if that's the best for you. Now, how to decide that? You go to your doctor, ask the question, do I have high triglycerides or very high? If I do, what are my options? And of course, a prescription will come from our doctor. We can then get the right product, and it doesn't have to be omega-3. There are other prescription products for high triglycerides, but omega-3 is in the mix. It's a very nice way, I think, of treating high triglycerides, or very high triglycerides specifically. That's where they're indicated. And then we have the conversation with the doctor. Let's weigh the pros and cons. There are different treatments, different approaches. If we can get in with the doctor and get that question asked, then I think we'll have the right answer.
And you did touch on this, but what, in your opinion, is the key difference between a prescription medication and these over-the-counter products or supplements? Is it that with the prescription, a doctor is involved in telling you how much you should take and specifically what you should take?
Absolutely. That is the difference. And remember, there is no over-the-counter omega-3. So we can talk about that in other settings, but not for omega-3. We've either got the dietary supplement, which is very loosely regulated, and we talked about the problems with these dietary supplement omega-3s, or prescription. Prescription obviously has to come from the doctor with a prescription. And to me, if we have, especially if we have very high triglycerides, that's where our focus is primarily on the triglyceride. Then we've got to go with something prescription, be it omega-3 or some other type of prescription. We really have no business trying to treat a disease with a dietary supplement.
Because in the end, it can be bad for our health.
It can be harmful in some cases, and at the best, probably not that helpful. So we're wasting time and money, and we're not getting a treatment that we could be getting.
Key takeaway is talk to your doctor about these things before you make a decision. And where can people go for more information?
Well, I would recommend either lipid.org, and that's LIPID.org. That's the National Lipid Association website. American Heart Association has a website called heart.org, HEART.org. Those are two great sources of information on the web.
Doctor, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Molly. Appreciate being with you.